Hello, Tids! Thank you very much for the welcome back. How are you doing today? I've just realised that the settings on my quick Twitch info updater are wrong. So quickly changing those. Steen, hello! How you doing? Welcome on in. Oh yeah. So I was originally subbed to a few people so that I could use their emotes for the shout-outs. But due to financial reasons, I've had to unsub from basically everybody. So to those of you that I was subbed to that I am no longer subbed to, I am sorry. When I can afford to, I will be subbing back to you again.
Hello there.
And it's fantastic to see you in chat, Steen. Honestly, it's been so weird not streaming for a month. And well, today's a special one. Oh gosh. So things are a little on the janky side still. But I'm hoping this will work. Oh god, no, not piano bowling for soup. We don't want that tonight. That'll do. Yeah. Oh gosh. We are going to have some technical issues because as much as I've tried really hard to set everything up beforehand, I've not finished unpacking yet. Which kind of sucks. And the first casualty of that, it would seem, is Hobbycam. So let me just go and attempt to fix that. Oh, geez. Hey, Cyborg. Thank you very much for the welcome back. It's good to see you, and thank you for being subscribed for 29
Bearded Cyborg
months.
Cosplay has been a sub for 29 months. Very naughty. Welcome back, Dan. Glad to see you stream again.
I always have one camera that just refuses to work. And today, it's me cam. Hey, Grox! Thank you for the welcome back, and thank you for being subscribed for 30 months. Fucking hell, everybody.
Inquisitor Grox has been a sub for 30 months. Very naughty, a hobby stream. Welcome back.
That's very strange. The camera is working, but it's not showing anything. It was definitely working yesterday. Huh. Well, you'll just have to cope with Porthos butt cam, I guess, if that still works. Like, I've got a fancy new rig for setting for Porthos cam, and no plan survives contact with the enemy, right? He's decided that for the first time since we moved in and I got everything settled in here, he's just not going to sit on his bed. Which is right where the camera is. So give me a second, folks. Okay. And he immediately moves closer to me. No, baby. No. You can't come up. I'm sorry. I need the space tonight. You go on your bed? I mean, if you go on your bed now, it's gonna kind of defeat the object anyway, because no one will be able to see you. But Hello, Hulu. It goes okay, thank you. I don't think I can say that I'm now Scottish just because I live here.
For 18 months.
Oh,
very
that's
naughty.
nice,
You're
sweetheart.
back.
And Cypher, thank you very much for being subscribed for 18 months. That is much appreciated. Meets for tea for tonight. Lovely. That sounds really nice, Cyborg. And in answer to your question, Porthos is settling in absolutely fine. Honestly, you'd think we hadn't moved at all. So what am I painting this evening? So frankly, because most of my shit, including Porthos's treat jar, have not surfaced from the boxes they've been packed into yet, I am going to paint something that I have managed to unpack. Something that I've not touched yet and have had for a little while. We're going to paint some Humblewood figures. We'll probably only get through one. Yes, poor baby, no treat jar. I do have a packet of treats somewhere in here that we can give him. Where are they? I found them. I know where the packet of treats is, so if anybody does want to gift a treat to Porthos, we can still wrangle that. This isn't food, sweetheart. It's not. God, I really wish that camera was working. So that I could show you what he's doing. But yeah, no, it is fucked. It was working perfectly fine last night when I tested everything. Oh. And OBS is being really sluggish as well. I don't know if any of my fellow streamers have noticed that recently. So, thank you so much for using your Bezos bucks to subscribe to this channel. Much appreciated. Welcome on
Weird
in.
Soup
Hope you're
One
doing okay
just
today.
subbed. Naughty.
The assimilation has commenced though. Has it? What do you mean? And fucking hell, I didn't even realise a hype train. Thank you so much, everybody. Fair play, Tids. I'll be honest with you. I was not expecting this to be a thing today. I'm just being assimilated by the Scottish. I'm alright with that. Yeah, I'm very frazzled. It's been a very stressful 3 weeks. I wonder. I'm just gonna put us into... Let's see if the camera works here. Same fucking camera, works perfectly fine here, won't work on the other scene. The fuck? So this is my new office. There is shit all over the place where it's not supposed to be. But I've got some cute shelves that Slow helped me put on the walls that I'm keeping all of my fun little trinkets on. I've even got Murray on the shelf. I don't know if you can see him just there. But yeah, it's been a very stressful 3 weeks. I've been back at work for 2 days. I finished work late today because there is so much going on at the minute. And frankly, my head's just mush. So if I'm struggling to finish sentences, or I'm just because of your generosity and your all-round just niceness, yeah, it's wonderful, and I love and appreciate you all. I'm just a flaming hot mess right now. But I needed to start streaming again. I've missed you folks so much. Yeah. So the new office bigger than the old one. Has the cave been updated into a cavern? It is a little bit bigger, and I've even got inbuilt storage, but the furniture that I already had for the old office doesn't fit in here properly. So as much as it's a slightly bigger office, I don't have as much space for my shit. And at the minute I'm not in a... Fuck! Steen, thank you very much for being subscribed for 3 months.
Stein just subbed. Naughty, Hobbitan has returned to us on Twitch TV.
Thank you very much, Steen. I wonder if I can teach the TTS to say your name properly. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's been updated to a cavern. But... Porthos, stop chewing your paws, they'll fall off. But, you know, it's a decent space and I'm making it work for me as best I can. And hopefully we'll be able to do some things in here to make it an even more enjoyable and relaxing space for all of us, eventually. Yeah. Do I need to tell you folks anything else? Yes. So I mentioned this on Twitter, but for those of you that don't follow me on Twitter or don't use Twitter very much, my motherboard is slowly dying. The HDMI port on it is fragged. My monitor setup has had to change. I've had to buy new cables. And that's not really solving the problem. This is the second thing on this motherboard, this fairly old motherboard, that has crapped out in the last 12 months. So I am going to have to really think about getting a new computer soon. I was planning on getting a new rig anyway, but because of things that happened during the move, I can't afford to do that now, because I was going to get it on credit and I can't. Without going into it in too much detail, at the minute, no bank is going to fucking touch me. So I've got a donation goal, which is just going to sit on the streams until I can afford to buy myself a new computer. There is no obligation, no expectation for any of you to donate. I'm telling you this because I feel it's important to be transparent about what's going on. And because I know we're all struggling at the minute because, frankly, the world is a fucking mess. And my computer is not as important as you keeping yourselves fed and clothed and with a roof over your heads. So don't feel like this is me going, you must give me money, otherwise I'm not going to stream anymore. This is if I disappear suddenly, it's because the rest of the motherboard's crapped out. But I am going to try and save up. I'm going to sell some stuff to try and make some additional money. And if any of you are in a position where you feel capable of putting into the pot to help me get a new PC sooner rather than later, it would be appreciated. But again, it's not required or expected or anything like that. The fact that you folks are here and support me at all is more than enough for me. It really is, and I do appreciate it. But yeah, that's what's going on at the minute. Anyway, shall we get on with the first hobby happy hour in not so sunny Scotland? Oh, and thank you everybody for the hype train. I think it got to level 2. That's really awesome of you. Thank you very much, everybody. And believe me, Cyborg, I've done a lot of screaming over the last few weeks. This has been a very, very stressful month. Right. So, I had a plan for which one of these miniatures I wanted to paint today. The answer may surprise you. But just so that you folks know what we've got, and to give you an opportunity to be involved. Pissing it down in London. Yeah, it's been pissing it down here as well. It stopped at about 4 o'clock, but it was proper shitting it down the sky was so dark I had to have the light on. Oh, we got a Porthos flail. Hey, buddy. Okay, so we've got the Hedge Warlock, the Vulpin Noble, the Servant Cleric, the Mapak or Mapach, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that, Tinkerer, and the Cherubine Swashbuckler. Now, I bet you all think that I want to paint this adorable little fella first. Amazingly enough, I actually want to paint the Hedge Warlock. Oh, good lord, Cyborg. So, does anybody have any problems with me painting the Hedge Pig? You did, Cypher, well done. Oh yeah, you'll have to forgive the state of my fingernails as well, my nail polish hasn't turned up either. I'm going to take your silence as yes, Hedge Pig is fine. So, they're lovely miniatures. So, the Humblewood stuff is done by the same folks that do the, Oh, hey Sinister, how you doing? Biggest problem with you painting the adorable hedgehog. Such a huge problem, I shall give you a treat. Oh, bless you, Hulu. Hedge pig, more like a hedgehog, am I right? Thank you very much, Hulu. Another thing that is probably gonna stop, I should warn you folks, for a little while, once these are gone, I will not be getting any more treats for a bit, because as much as I love getting stuff from Sweet Punks, these aren't from Sweet Punks, these are Haribos. I can't afford to get stuff from them at the minute. We're really tightening our belts. Thank you. I'm gonna have a little orange jelly baby. Thank you very much, Hulu. Also, my new meds.
Hello there.
Evan, hello, how you doing? Welcome on in. Yeah, my new meds mean I'm not allowed to drink too much alcohol. So I will be keeping One for Your Sen active, but I will be reserving the right to refund people for it when I feel like I've had a little bit too much alcohol already, and I don't want to piss my meds off because my meds shut my immune system down. So really, I need to be careful while I'm on them.
Hello.
Hello, Soul. How you doing? At least the stream won't be giving you diabetes. That's very true, Soul. I hope you're doing well today. Okay, so another thing I've not actually tested and set up yet is where I'm going to be resting my hands when I'm painting. So, we need to bring this down a little bit. That's better. And that's about where I'm going to be. Yeah, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Those minis are so cute, aren't they just? I really like the Humblewood stuff. I've got bunches of it that I've just never got around to painting. They're really, really nicely made as well. They're all 3D printed. Oh! Porthos did a spin. And then he got an itch. Oh my gosh, Hulu. How did that go down? Ran into a new web serial to read, so I've been quite busy with it. Awesome. It's always nice when you find something new to enjoy. Goodness sake. I'm using the new contact paper in my new red grass wet palette, which I backed on Kickstarter ages and ages ago. But I couldn't find the foam that came with it, so I'm using a tiny piece of foam that was designed for the older, smaller wet palette, and it's a fucking mess. I can't wait until everything's unpacked and I can actually see what I'm doing. So, we're going to start off, we're going to prime our little hedge pig friend with some matte surface primer from Green Stuff World. Those that have been here before know that this is my absolute favourite base coat for any miniature. It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, designed to be used either with brush or with airbrush. And a little bit goes a long, long way. You doing a spin, Porthos? You big spin. Got some hobbits from Victoria Miniatures. Never heard of Victoria Miniatures. Feel free to pop a link into chat if you want to share what they look like with everybody. I'd certainly be interested. Or you can pop it in the Discord if you'd prefer. See, this is why I like this stuff, look. Because you need so little of it. I put a tiny little blob on here. Not even a proper squeeze of the bottle. And it's just covering it. Perfect. It's just what you need. And it goes into the crevices on miniatures really well as well. So you're not losing any detail using it. And it's not that expensive either. Because you use so little of it per miniature, it lasts a really long time. I think I've had this for about 3 years. Maybe a little bit longer. And this is the second bottle. I bought 2 bottles at the same time. And the other bottle hasn't turned up yet, but is about half full. And that's after I decanted a bunch into one of my smaller dropper bottles from Mam. Because she was working on a project and needed some primer. My Mam, for those that didn't already know, also paints miniatures. A long time ago, I went into a games workshop and bought her for her birthday Nagash, because Nagash is pretty and is exactly the kind of thing my mum likes. She never finished painting him, sadly, but she loves stuff like this. Like, her and my dad brought me up on Hero Quest and Talisman. Oh, you bugger!
Genuine enthusiasm.
Hayley! How you doing, sweetheart? You scared the shit out of me. How was your stream? Thank you so much for the raid. Beyonce, hello. Thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Bonnie, hello. Hello, Haruba. How you doing? It's good to see you all. I hope you're all doing well. Oh, you were playing more Wildflowers. How's it going? I've lurked in a couple of your Wildflowers streams. It seems like a really interesting game. I'm not sure if it's one I would play myself, but it seems kind of fun. I'm alright, thank you very much. And thank you for the link, Cypher. Much appreciated. So, welcome on in, everybody. For those that haven't been here before, I'm Hobby Tan. You can call me Hobby, you can call me Tan. Some people still call me Squig, and I'm fine with that too. I am a UK streamer, formerly of England, now living in Scotland. I do all sorts of different stuff. This is the first hobby stream I've done in about 5 months, I think. It's also my first stream in my new house. We've got a fairly chill vibe, I think, here. And It may be considered bragging, but I think we've got an absolutely wonderful little community as well. Lovely, lovely people. From all walks of life. Usual rules apply though. We don't abide by TERFs, we don't abide by bigots. And if you're chill, you're welcome here at the Retro Raccoon. Unless you're being a bigot to a TERF. No. We'll have no bigotry, thank you very much. No bigotry. There's plenty of ways to put a TERF down without stooping to their level. Weird thirst is acceptable though, yes. My chat is very thirsty. I find it strange, but I wouldn't have them any other way. Goth provides big tittery, indeed. So I finally need a little bit more of the primer. Oh, wicked Hulu. Thank you very much. It's recently proven on Twitter, indeed. I was very, very pleased for you when I saw that, by the way. I can't remember if I commented or not. Like, I wanted to say congratulations, I know I did, but I wasn't sure if congratulations was the right thing to say, but I'm very happy for you. I've probably got too much primer now, but that's okay. These wet palettes are really good, and this new wet palette paper that Redgrass have come up with is dry wipe, I believe, or wet wipe, one or the other. But it basically means if you fill the palette up with different bits of paint, and you're just like, shit, I don't have any more paper, you can get a cloth and just gently wipe the paint away, and then use it again for a different project. And you can do that a couple of times before you have to replace the paper, if I'm not mistaken, which is really neat. I mean, you've got to apply it properly, which I've not done here because my my hydration paper underneath it is the wrong size for the palette and the paper. But we're working with what we could find out of boxes. So once I'm fully unpacked, perhaps things will be a little bit better. And for those that are going, oh, well, I can't afford a wet palette, that's fine. You've got a couple of options. One, you can make your own out of a Tupperware tub, like a little plastic Chinese takeaway tub will do just fine, or a more sturdy Tupperware tub, and a little bit of foam and baking paper, or greaseproof paper. Makes a perfectly fine wet palette. Or you could do what I used to do before I got a wet palette, which is use a saucer. This is the literal first time I've used this wet palette since I got it, Sinister, because it arrived not long after I said the painting streams were going on hiatus for a bit. And I was just like, why is the universe mocking me? Why? And I know a lot of you have heard me go over the sort of money-saving techniques you can use when you're coming into the hobby before, but some of you won't have done, and it's been a long time since we talked about it, so I hope you don't mind if I retread old ground. The other thing I always say is that I use a lot of like Citadel and Army Painter branded paintbrushes, but any acrylic paintbrushes are perfectly fine for painting miniatures with, as long as they're the right kind of size for you to be able to use on the mini that you're painting. Like these are just cheap and cheerful, like a £2 packet of paintbrushes from a local craft shop that are just small detail acrylic paintbrushes. Works perfectly. And I got like 6 of them in that packet for £2 instead of £2 for a single paintbrush. Perfectly reasonable. Makeup brushes apparently also quite good. I've never used makeup brushes for painting miniatures because I've never seen makeup brushes that are actually cheap. But yeah, so there's lots of ways around spending lots of money on your painting products. Heck, you don't even need to buy actual basing materials. There's a fantastic Warhammer artist on Twitter called Christina Amoan, who's actually the lass who did my static avatar, not the absolutely delightful talking pixel art avatar that's on screen. That was done by Carve. But yeah, the little round one that is like my profile picture was done by Christina Amoan. And she painted. Oh shit! I left the giveaway shit running, didn't I? It is not Grip Combat Racing. I completely forgot about sorting the giveaway out, but we can pick something random from the list now. Give me a minute, folks. There's always something I forget. It's been so long. I haven't even started the giveaway, I don't think. Well, I've definitely not. I don't think I left one running either, though. Let's have a look. No, I didn't leave one running. We will go with... Yeah, there we go. Sorry, folks. This is what I get for forgetting shit. Fart Bubbler, hello. I can't actually see chat at the minute, but I saw the thing pop up on the screen. So, okay. There we go. Now there is a giveaway active on the stream. And now TechSquig knows what the giveaway is. There we go. Okay, where were we? Panda, hello. Thank you
Panda
so
has
much.
been subbed for 8 months.
And
very naughty. Fun
thank
fact,
you
armies
for the 8
like
month
Iron
sub.
Warriors are great for beginners. Metal, wash, yellow trim, red eyes, boom done.
Neat. Thank you very much for the tip. Torpor, thank you very much for the posture check and the stretch. I will deal with them in a moment. I hope you're doing well today. Okie dokie, Sinister. You enjoy your dinner, you take care, and I'll hopefully talk to you soon. Duke, hello, how you doing? Welcome on in, and thank you for welcoming me to your beautiful kingdom. We've settled in all right. It's not been too bad. Been quite rainy, so Porthos hasn't had as much outside time as he would have necessarily liked, but he's doing okay as well. Okay. I think I'm caught up now. Apologies for the storms. It's fine, Duke. It's fine. Thank you so much for being subscribed for 15 months. That's wonderful of you.
Duke_Silver has been a
Very
sub
much
for 15
appreciated.
months. Very naughty. Apologies for the storms.
Okie dokie, rocks, will do. Do you have a preference on how I contact you? I'm just going to deal with that stretch and the posture check that Torport asked me to do. Oh, you bugger, that hurt. Whilst I'm asking, I hit the table then with my chair. It's trying to get a little bit closer, and I'm not going to be doing that. Yeah, if you've got any preference over where I contact you, do let me know, and I will use that. Right. Oh, we've got a little bit of grey peeking through there, so we'll just paint that bit in before we do anything else. Okay, so now that the giveaway is actually active, today's giveaway is for a copy of Endless Space 2. Oh yeah, how's the now playing at the top of the screen, by the way? Is it legible? Are the fonts I've chosen okay? And is the speed at which it moves all right? We've got a lot of grey showing through there. I think the only problem with these kind of miniatures is that because they've been 3D printed as a single solid piece, base included, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get the paint where you want it. Oh, Porthos is spinning in time with the music. Thanks, little mate. Oh, for anyone that was not here when we decided what we were going to paint, we're painting the Hedge Warlock from the Humblewood Humblefolk box set. This was done by Hit Point Press, who are the people behind Deck of Many, and it is part of the Deck of Many sort of expanded universe. There's an owl warrior. Oh, that's wicked. You mean in the Humblewood set? Because I've probably got that somewhere as well. I'm glad that the now playing works nicely. Oh no, some people do it like that, Hulu. There's lots of different ways to paint miniatures, and however you choose to do it doesn't make you weird. And even if you choose not to do it, there's nothing wrong with that as well. Some people prefer playing to painting, some people prefer building to painting. Some people just don't paint things because they don't want to. Some people prefer to paint instead of play or build. How you choose to engage with the hobby is up to you, and that's perfectly fine and valid. Cyborg likes cosplaying. Some people like reading the books. Some people like playing the video games and they don't care about any of the tabletop stuff, you know? And that's perfectly fine too. Some people like the RPs, but they don't like they like the pen and paper stuff, they don't like the tabletop stuff, and that's fine too. Not weird, just how you get things done, and that is what matters. Exactly, Panda. There are so many ways to engage with the tabletop hobby. Even with something like Humblewood, where these are actually supposed to be for a D&D campaign. But I'm very likely to never play the D&D campaign, so I just paint the miniatures because I think they're cute and they're fun to paint. So for our hedge pig, we're gonna need a couple of different browns for the spines on the back, and then are they wearing anything? They are. They've got they have got their belly exposed though. So that's metallic. We don't want that. You shouldn't be in there. You should be in with the metals. So we're gonna want something slightly paler, like more of a beigey colour for the belly. because hedgehogs generally have like sort of black and brown spines on their back and their sides, and then like a soft, fluffy, pale belly. So we're going to use probably elfic flesh for that. Maybe a little bit of skeleton bone, which is a slightly darker colour. But let's focus on the spines. Now, I definitely want to use some chaotic red because this is like a really ruddy brown, and I think that'll look very, very nice for the spines. Oh, this is my chrome paint, which you're only supposed to use in airbrushes, and I was like, nah, fuck that, I'm going to use a paintbrush. And we painted a squig chrome. Love the colours of the names of the colours. Yeah, me too. There's loads of really, really good ones. My favourite though is the one that we renamed on the stream many moons ago. So this is Game Colour, Vallejo Game Colours Squid Pink, which we renamed Pepto Squigmol. Because it looks like Pepto-Bismol, and I use it for painting pink squigs. If you don't know what Pepto-Bismol is, then you're very, very lucky, and I envy you. Hey, what's up, Danger? How you doing? Welcome on in. Wow, that's nothing like what you asked for, is it, Rocket? It might be the quote marks freaking it out. Let me see if I can get that added for you. Oh, I think it might be reading the Japanese, translating it, and going, okay, this is the closest thing I can find. That exact song doesn't appear to be on Spotify. Or if it is, it's not under that name. Because I can't find it. Yeah, no. The artist is available, but that song isn't, I'm afraid. I get forced to cosplay with my girlfriend so I can manage to go to some festival thingy, like E3 for longer than 20 minutes, and then want to run home. Oh, I've been there, Hulu. My first cosplay I ever did was because I was going to a convention and I was afraid if I didn't go in cosplay, I'd look weird. Find a character you're comfortable doing and a costume you can easily get in and out of. Agreed, that is the best way to go. Like, my first cosplay was essentially stuff that I would be comfortable wearing in just like every day, with a wig on top. Shiny and chrome, indeed, Cypher. 99% of airbrush paints work absolutely fine with a brush. Yeah, they do. What are we making? This is the Hedge Warlock from the Humblewood Humblefolk collection. Sorry, I'm massively behind with chat because I was just like, oh fuck, what do I do about this Spotify issue? And my brain is such a mess right now that it's so easy for me to just get distracted and fall down rabbit holes. We'll take this. Okay. I will refund you for the one that's not right later, but I'm just going to leave the song in the jukebox because it's a lot of faffing at the minute. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I started making a thing that I do not know what it is, but I have regrets. Oh? Please, enlighten us. I'm intrigued. Right. So. Spines. Tummy. We'll leave the tummy stuff for now, because we're going to do that later. We're going to focus on the spines to begin with. And... what colour do you think we should do their little, like, kimono robe? I've got a lot of, like, metallic colours still in here that should be over with my metallics on the shelf, because they don't get used very often. I did wonder where they all disappeared to. I kind of packed this case in a rush before we moved, so... there we go. So a bit of dryad bark for the spines as well, I think. And then... I think this is a wash, yeah. Strong Tone, which is a dark skin wash. And... a little bit of Null Oil, probably, as a finisher. But I'm looking for my black. Not finding it. Ah, it's right here. It's right at the bottom. Couldn't see for looking. Oh, cool. Cheers, Panda. Non-airbrush paints in an airbrush rarely work without thinning them down, and leads to clogs. Above statement doesn't work in reverse. Yeah, exactly, Panda. You can use things like Liquitex to thin them down, and they should work quite well then, as long as you get the ratios right. Okie dokie, Hula, you take care. White robe. Yeah, could do. Pepto-Squigmore. I want someone to run vampire so I can play my librarian. Yeah, that's fair. I just feel a better saying. Yeah, of course, Panda. Don't worry, I wasn't chastising you there. I agree with you. It's important to share this information because there will be people out there that don't know. And, you know, an airbrush is one of those things where once you've got one, you're just like, yes, I want to try everything, from what I understand. And if you get a bit over eager, as it were, and, you know. Oh dear, I think this might be clogged. Oh, yeah, that were clogged. You folks didn't see that because the hedge pig was in the way, but that was supposed to be about that size. Nah. Just gonna push that over here and give it a mix because it looks like it's separated a little bit, even though I shook it. Clearly didn't shake it hard enough. The one problem with Chaotic Red is that it's really thin. Like, it doesn't apply very nicely, in my experience. Some of the Army Painter paints, particularly the bright colours, are really, really nice. They go on really nice, as long as you're careful with them. Because yellow's always a pain in the arse, no matter what brand it is. But some of them, like that one, they seem great when you look at them in the bottle, but they come out so weird. And they're just such a funny texture. Now, all of my Citadel paints have come out of, like, traditional Citadel paint pots like this, and I've put them in dropper bottles. When I've put them in dropper bottles, I've put a couple of drops of Liquitex in with them. Liquitex is a flow aid. It's used for thinning paints down, but it's not like an abrasive thinner. It's not something like acetone or something like that. Or what's the other one that's really common? Anyway, it's a water-based paint thinner, basically. And if you're going to put Citadel paints in dropper bottles like I have, you need to thin them down first. Doesn't take a lot. A couple of drops of Liquitex is enough normally. Creature is now in the hobby Discord. Wicked Panda, I'll take a look. The Strong Tone is going to wait for now, as is the Null Oil, because they're both washes, so we don't need them right now. We've got two different browns and some black for painting the spines. Now we've also got some beads. What I might do is I might do the robe white and then do the beads Pepta Squigmol. I think that might look quite nice. And we'll try and give them a little bit of a sheen as well when we paint them, so it looks like they're maybe a bit glassy. I think that would look pretty. I've got some, Hello, Hans. Welcome on in. How you doing? Some UV resin. There we go. I've got some UV resin in a bottle on the shelf over there that we can put on them once they're done to make them like proper shiny, so they're really glassy looking. So I'm going to start with this little paintbrush here. It is, again, this is one of the cheap and cheerful ones, but it is a size 1 apparently. It's a little battered, but it should do okay for what I want to do, which is putting the dryad bark on. We're going to use the dryad bark as a base purely because it's the better applying brown. I'm going to try and avoid the beads because we don't want anything on them when we want to come round to paint the pink. A tip that I got from a couple of you folks in chat and from fellow painting streamer Unity quite some time ago, which has come in handy. If you're painting yellow like that, using squid pink or something similar underneath it as a base coat makes the yellow really pop, and it tends to go on a bit smoother as well. So if any of you are painting yellow, 1, my condolences, but 2, yeah, give the squid pink thing a go if you've got the funds to do so. You can also mix your own squid pink equivalent. Okay, those rogue hairs are really bugging me. Give me a sec. You wanna go out, bub? Okay, give me a sec. Go on then. Sorry, Porthos wanted to go out, probably to get a drink. I am going to use my snips to trim the rogue hairs off of this brush because they are driving me insane. I actually have a bottle of brush repair fluid somewhere. Don't know where it is. It may even be in the case. But I tend to find, especially with brushes that have been damaged for a while, it doesn't work as well as it's supposed to. There we go. That's better. So now I've got a proper point again. Like those hairs were just completely bent. There was no way that me like licking the brush would put them back where they were supposed to be for any length of time. Better to just get rid. And it's a cheap brush, so it doesn't matter all that much. If it was like my Psycho brush or something like that, then I wouldn't do that. My Psycho brush doesn't have that many bristles in the first place, so... The pink yellow is dark magic. It really is, isn't it? Out of interest, can you folks see clearly, or is my day lamp a bit too bright for you? Because I can adjust some picture settings here. I need to. Because it looks like it might be a bit washed out. Psycho count is right down here. It's currently set to 0. I'm thinking about updating it to something that's more in keeping with the rest of the stream. I actually have I've made a pixel art version of the tip jar as well. But every time I load it into Stream Elements makes it 50 times as big as it's supposed to bloody be. So it's going to take me a little while to update that. But it's, yeah, it's, can I? It's just there. Bop, bop. Aw, Soup. If you can, please give the pupper a hug or some pets from me. I'm gonna give our boy a little bit of love because he's looking a bit sheepish. There we go. Not looking sheepish anymore. I know you can't see him properly, but you can see his waggy tail. Okay, get down, bub. Good boy. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I think the psycho count might be set so that only
Get nice and moist for me, won't you?
only mods can do it. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Panda. I actually haven't poured myself a drink, so I'll do that now. Things have been a little bit fraught this afternoon. So I brought the things upstairs so I could... Hello, Adam. How you doing? Yeah, I brought the things upstairs so I could pour myself a drink, but didn't actually pour myself a drink. I don't know if it works in the middle of a sentence either. It's the point when we find out that Tids can't do it either, and I've set it so only I can do it for some weird and wonderful reason. How did
Coloring.
Yeah, there we go.
The tasteful thickness of it.
I mean, we didn't need a psycho because I've not used it yet, but I mentioned it, so I think that counts. Yeah, Adam, how did VVV go? Because I didn't have internet, so I couldn't watch you. I was really miffed. I wanted to see how it all played out. Adam does these absolutely fantastic, for want of a better description, fantasy wrestling streams. And they are just an absolute delight to watch. If you are a wrestling fan, heck, if you're not a wrestling fan, they're well worth watching. Adam's streams in general, well worth watching. But yeah, VVV is something else. It really is. Went lovely, had a lot of fun. I'm so glad. They are always an absolute joy to watch. Such a good laugh. Okay. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Bloody hell. See, I'm just so forgetful today. Where is it? There. I think we need to make some adjustments to the lighting. If OBS doesn't crash first. Here we go. Let's bring the brightness down a little bit. Increase the contrast. Leave the white balance how it is. We'll zoom in a little bit. We'll adjust the focus as well because I want to bring it closer. Actually, let's ooh, no. That's better. What's up, baby? I can hear the dog sort of huffing and puffing behind me. looks a little better, I think. Like, finding the right settings is so bloody difficult. Because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. There we go. Tumblr has decided to allow boobies again. I did hear, Hans. It's almost like they heard that Twitter's in turmoil and figured they'd get in on the action and get some people back. Oh, 90% lip service. Oh no. Not porn. Artistic context. For goodness sakes, of course it is. Right. Do you want to go outside? Is that what's up with you? No? Okay. He seems to have calmed down now. So I'll get back on with the painting. Is the camera okay for everybody? Cool. Lovely. So I was a bit worried before because it seemed like everything was a bit washed out. And I know, it's a primed miniature, so there's not much to look at the moment. But, okay. Tids, don't increase the psycho count. This is the first time I'm going to use it, if I can find it. Which I can't. Ruh-roh. As it ended up in there. Oh. Just destroy some things at the back of my desk. Perfectly normal stream. Yeah, I think it's in here. Yeah, here we go. Now then. Let me try that again. Tids, please don't increase the psycho count. This is the first time I will be using it this stream. Everybody, for those that haven't been here before, this is my favourite paintbrush. This is the Psycho. It is one of the smallest miniature painting brushes you can get. It's tiny. It used to be called the Psycho Insane Detail Brush, and then they shortened it to the Psycho. Down here, you should be able to see a little picture of the Psycho paintbrush, and it says, Psycho used 1 times. This here is my way of trying to encourage myself to use different paintbrushes, because I will paint literally fucking anything with the Psycho. I have painted large miniatures with this and nothing else, because I'm a nutter. This is my comfort brush. And I'm going to use it to paint these little spines here. Now, at the moment, it seems that the Psycho upticker is set to only be allowed, set to only change when a mod uses the command. I will be adjusting that when the stream is over, as long as I don't forget. Because I feel like you should all be able to call me out for my bullshit. You spin again. I love that this little hedgehog friend is wearing a really pretty robe. But because they're a hedgehog, they've punctured holes in it with their spines. I think that's a really nice little detail. That's been executed very well. Zoomy doggo, yeah. He used to get like this every time I did a painting stream. And it's been a really, really long time since I've done one. And he's actually got space in my office now to spin around in little circles, which he didn't at the old place. So what he used to do at the old place, when he realised he didn't really have the space, is he'd go into Slow's office and he'd spin around in Slow's office, which would shake my desk. Which isn't massively helpful. Oh, any mini painters that have noticed that I am not thinning my paint before I apply it, that is because of the previously mentioned Liquitex that's mixed in with them. They are technically pre-thinned, which is great for me, because it means that I don't over-thin them with water. They're always the same level of thinned out, so I know exactly what to expect. Honestly, as much as it can be a bit pricey, for anybody like me who either forgets to thin their paints or wants a quick and easy solution, get yourself some Liquitex. Put a couple of drops in your Citadel paints, give them a shake. You'll never have to thin them out as you're painting again. It's a really nice time save hack, that. But again, it's a more costly one. Delaney King did a really good thread on Twitter the other week about the different kinds of miniature paint thinner you can get and what they're good for. I don't have a link to hand, unfortunately, but I highly recommend folks having a read through it, if they can find it. So hedgehogs generally have darker feet, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look at the... Yeah. I was right. So we're going to paint the hands of this character the same brown to begin with as we've been using on the spines, which for those that weren't here when I was decanting stuff, is Dryad Bark, which is a Citadel base paint, which I think you can still get. Games Workshop have this really nasty habit of changing the names of paints every couple of years. And sometimes they just completely discontinue the paint and they'll go, oh, well, there's this other paint that is basically the same that you can use instead. And you look at it and you go, it's a completely different bloody colour, mate. Wheezy! Hello, my friend, how are you doing? Greetings from Scotland. Hobbits love Scar, now debate. I think they would. I think that they'd probably be more interested in like the more reggae-inspired end of Scar than perhaps Third Wave. But yeah, I can imagine hobbits really enjoying a bit of Scar.
Hello there.
I mean, you know, individual tastes and all that, so not necessarily all of them would enjoy Scar, but I'm sure quite a few of them would. Merry and Pippin strike me as Scar-likers. I know Jealous loves Scar and Hobbits, so that's conclusive enough for me. Yep, same. I'm an actual gremlin tonight, so we'll be lurking like a gherkin. How is Scotland treating you? Well, Gherkin Wheezy, you enjoy your lurk. I hope you have a nice time in the Lurkers Lounge. Scotland is treating me just fine. I am off my meds for one more week. And I'm surprisingly full of energy. The air up here and the water up here is just doing me loads of good. Imagine what I'm going to be like once I'm back on my meds. Energy, brain power, be amazing, be terrifying. Soon you will be unstoppable. Yeah, I'm basically heading towards the Mob Psycho 100 sort of levels of unlimited power. Can see that maybe a bit more Rocksteady. Yeah, I can see them liking more Rocksteady stuff. I think my green stuff is cured enough now to do more work on Skullface McKitmunch. That's a fantastic fucking name, Panda. Well done. Maybe I can get it to not be a nightmare beast before bed. Hey, we love a nightmare beast here. Some hobbits would definitely play the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with an expanded free trial which you can play through the... Oh, I see what you're doing here, Hans. I see what you're doing here.
And take care, loves. And
before Hobbs just becomes Megamind.
Blue heart.
Oh, it really is, Panda. You take care, okay? And thank you for the bits. And I hope you rest well and have fun with your Nightmare Beast. And yeah, I have no problems with the mad scientist arc of my life turning me into Megamind. Megamind's cool. And I know I've talked about this before, but seeing as Megamind has been mentioned, there's a YouTube channel called Cinema Therapy. Hey, Skullface. Who did a really, really good video about Megamind that's called Nice Guys versus Good Guys. Really, really interesting. In case you've never seen Cinema Therapy before, it's a qualified therapist and a filmmaker, a professional filmmaker, who sit and watch movies and TV shows together, and they discuss the production of them and like stylistic choices and the psychological aspects as well. They did a really, really good video about Moon Knight recently, which I was super hyped for when they announced that they were doing it, and when I watched it, I was so happy. If you've not seen Moon Knight, highly recommend it. And it comes therapist recommended as well, as one of the most accurate and compassionate portrayals of dissociative identity disorder in media to date, which is just amazing. But yeah, the Megamind one is what got me into them in the first place, and it's such a good video. I highly recommend it. Really, just watch their whole back catalogue if you've got the time. So I'm putting a second coat of dryad bark on. And then once we've done that, I'm going to pick out some areas of the spines using the chaotic red. And then we'll start putting the washes on, so we can try and get a gradient going on the spines. I might also get one of the colours that I've picked out for the tummy. Probably the skeleton bone. And mix some of that in with the chaotic red. Just to put on the very tips of the spines for like a light effect. Oh, we've not painted the feeties. We need to paint the little feetsies. There we go. This is when it gets difficult, because now I want to paint stuff over here, and there's this little shell in the way. So I can't see what I'm doing quite as clearly as I would like. But that's okay. I choose to see this problem as an opportunity. Right. Let me just have a look at the picture again. Yeah, I thought as much. So we also want to paint the face. I don't know hedgehogs as well as I know raccoons, so I keep having to check the box for where the markings are supposed to be. I mean, it probably won't look exactly like the hedgehog on the box, but it doesn't have to. I'm aiming for semi-realism, I suppose, on this partially anthropomorphized hedgehog. Okay. That's all of the dryad bark. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. So this bit is fairly dry already, so we'll start there. Now, I don't know if you can see that because it's all the way back there, but this this paint's kind of, it's not thick, but it's kind of viscous, I guess. Like, I run my brush through it. Let's see if you can see that. No, you can't really. I run my brush through it, and it takes a second for the paint to come back together. And it sits on the brush really weird. Look at that. Ugh. Now, you'd think it's a wash with the way it's behaving, but it's not. It's so weird. I don't think this is going to do what I want it to do. Let's go looking for a different paint. I don't trust that. Oh, I don't know how often we're going to be doing Hobby Happy Hour for the record. I wanted to do this today. It's a special occasion, you know. Okie dokie, Cypher, you take care. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you again for the resub. You take care and have fun dadding. Oh my god, it knows what dadding is now. Wonderful. Oh, and now it's gone back to being saying daddy instead. Wonderful. I can't win, can I? I think we'll go for some Doomball Brown. This looks... It looks a little too ruddy, but I think if we're careful with it, it'll look quite nice. I'm going to have to get some more of this soon, I think. That bottle doesn't feel very full at all anymore. The hobbits have arrived. We never left, Hans. Oh, shoot. With everything that happened on moving day, I completely forgot I was going to post a Hobbit gif. Okay, I'm using the Psycho again. If any of my mods are in right now, now is your opportunity to mock me for falling back on my comfort brush.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it.
I hope you folks can actually hear the sound effect that goes off when that plays. Because otherwise me just, you know, Shouldn't that be grudge? Fuck you, tits. Cheeky bugger. Because otherwise me just randomly stopping what I'm doing to show you the brush would be utterly pointless. So all I want to do with this is just pick out a couple of bits on each spine that are a slightly different colour. Just to give them a bit of depth, because they're not supposed to be flat. Now, there's lots of ways you can do stuff like this. I like to use a couple of different colours when I'm painting something and then put a wash over the top just to blend everything together. Some people like to put a single coat on and then put a wash over the top. Some people don't use washes at all. There's lots of different ways to achieve the kinds of effects that you might want to go for. And if anybody ever tells you that you're doing it the wrong way, tell them that I said they could go fuck themselves. I mean, I've got to admit, if you say to somebody in your local games workshop, Hobby Tan says go fuck yourself, that's probably not going to make a lot of sense to them. But, oh well. Seriously though, if anybody tells you that, then they're deluding themselves. There's no right or wrong way to do anything in this hobby, really. The only wrong way to do something is to gatekeep. Keeping people out of the hobby is the wrong thing to do. We want this to be an inclusive space where people can feel free to express their artistic selves in whatever way they like. Also, not everybody has the same tools as everyone else. Like, you get a lot of tutorials that are like, do OSL in 5 easy steps. And then it's like, oh, all you need is this £40 pot of paint and a £300 airbrush. Okay, thanks. That's me not doing it this way then. Yeah, I think the Doom Ball was a good choice, actually. That looks quite nice, I think. I don't know how clearly you folks can see that, but it's definitely put some oomph into the spines, which is what we wanted. The only people we need to gatekeep is the fascists. Agreed. We gatekeep the gatekeepers and that's it. It's an entire subreddit dedicated to a single NPC in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl who offers to trade you a Haunter, but has given it an item to prevent it from evolving during the trade. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I remember that that particular person. And I'm okay with that, because I didn't want a Gengar anyway. Haunter's my favourite Pokemon. I appreciate that Gengar is technically the better Pokemon. Oh. Poor little hydration foam. You're really struggling with this paper, aren't you? Too big for you. Yeah, Haunter's my favourite Pokemon from the original 151. Welcome to my absolute beginner's tutorial for people just starting their painting hobby of minis. Now get your airbrush. Yeah, exactly, Cyborg. It's bullshit. Like, if you've got the money to immediately invest in an airbrush when you start painting, good for you. 90% of us can't. Like, I've been painting for close to a decade now. And I still can't afford a fucking airbrush. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I had one anyway. One very exciting thing that's happened recently is that because we've moved house, we now live in a house where the electrics aren't so fucking ancient that we can't use our 3D printers. So Slowy's going to start 3D printing stuff soon. It's very, very exciting. Oh yes, I like that. Now I know it's not particularly clear because of the lighting. I wonder if I can fix that. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Look at those spines. That looks really nice, I think. Really nice sort of gradient between those two. Gives a nice little bit of depth. Videos never discuss cleaning process and how much work that can be at times. Yeah, exactly, Hans. Like, one of the common threads I've seen from hobbyists on Twitter that have airbrushes is that they don't like using the airbrush because of how long it takes to clean it afterwards. And I can understand that completely. They're also quite noisy, if I'm not mistaken, which would be terrible for Porthos. Tell you what I'm looking forward to in terms of miniatures. I really need to deal with some of my backlog, because I've got more miniatures on the way. I've got 2 board games. 2 board games. 2. That I backed on Kickstarter yonks ago. That are on their way. Soon. There's the Dead by Daylight board game. Hello, Armoured. How you doing? Welcome on in. Oh, I'm glad you like the closed captions. They're actually behaving themselves for once. Normally they make me look like a fucking idiot. But they're actually being nice today. Yeah, so I've got the Dead by Daylight board game on its way. Lyphora, hello, sweetheart. How you doing? Welcome on in. And the Monster Hunter Rise board game is also on its way. Rise? No. Other one. Monster Hunter World board game. There we go. And I'm really excited for both of them. Because Monster Hunter board game, I get to paint monsters! My favourite one isn't in there because it's World, not Rise. But my second favourite is. So that's not so bad. And Dead by Daylight, I get to paint the killers! How cool is that? So maybe next October we can do some Dead by Daylight mini painting streams. You know, keep things on theme. Wouldn't that be wicked? It's none of the branded characters though, so it's not got like Sadako and Ghostface and whatnot in it. I got a little bit of Doombull where I shouldn't have done there, so I'm just gonna patch it in with some primer. There we go. We're probably going to end up having to repaint some of these spines that are poking through. Purely because I'm clumsy. But that's okay. Hanging in there. I'm doing alright. I'm glad you're doing okay. It sounds like things might be a little bit rough at the moment, but I hope, if that is the case, that they get better for you soon. We've got some bits here where the brush hasn't actually got in where it needs to with the primer, so I'm just going to quickly touch them in. Sometimes you don't see these things until you turn the model at a very specific angle. And it's especially hard when you're painting on stream, because you're fighting with the light as well. So when I stream for you folks, when I'm doing a painting stream, I am more focused on making sure that you can see what's going on with the miniature than I am making sure I can see what's going on with the miniature. So you've got a much better visual quality for the miniature than I do at the moment. Because I've got the day lamp right in my eye. I mean, it's not pointed at me, I'm not blinding myself, don't worry. But it's so close to me that I'm getting quite a lot of like bounce back from it, for want of a better description. But the day bulb from my other lamp that is part of my stream setup and the power lead for the light on my case have both vanished in the move. So I've got one light when I used to have 3. It's a miracle that I've been able to do this at all, to be honest with you. Maybe the caption's got a little nudge while being in transit to your new home. Maybe, maybe. Torport, thank you very much for the hydrate. And the posture check as well. Oh, you bugger. And the stretch. Ooh, ouch. I'm sorry if the microphone picked up my ribcage popping then. Oh, I do need to stop sitting like a gremlin when I'm painting. It's so easy to do, though. Oh, I left the not streaming in October thing up as well. I'll get rid of that after the stream, if I don't forget. Okay, so I think we're done with the spines for now. I think we're gonna go on to the beads. I fancy painting some Pepto-Squigmore. But I'm not just gonna have that. I don't think. Oh, okay. So I think we'll use the Pepto-Squigmore as a base. Hi, Boar. I hope you're well. I think we'll use the Pepto-Squigmore as a base. I need to rewrite that, actually. It's coming off. You can barely read it now. And then we'll put some Quartz Magenta Candy ink. Again, from Green Stuff World. I really like Green Stuff World's products. A lot of the stuff I have, both basing and painting, is from GSW. Not gunshot wounds, before anybody says. But yeah, I love their inks. Modhail! Hello! How you doing, sweetheart? And thank you for being subscribed for 16 months.
Modhail01 has been a sub for 16 months. Very naughty. Welcome back to the Twitchverse.
Thank you very much, Modhail. It's wonderful to be back, honestly. I have missed you lot incredibly. Is this... Oh my god, it is. Lo-fi potatoes. Who put lo-fi potatoes in? I'm down with that. That's daft. Love it. That's going in the liked. No, I wasn't going to use that brush. So I'm going to use, not the Psycho, I'm going to use the Detail brush for this, which is a little bit bigger than the Psycho. So you've got the Detail, then you've got the Insane Detail, and then you've got the Psycho Insane Detail. So this is a couple of steps up from my Comfort brush. Been playing No Man's Sky, but it froze on me, and then I saw you were streaming. Ah! Well, I'm sorry to hear that No Man's Sky froze on you, but it's lovely to have you here, so I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to be too precious about, no pun intended, considering what we're listening to, about getting the pink in between beads. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because it'll give a little bit of extra depth. So the plan, such that it is that I will focusing. Punkbuds, yes, indeed. So I'll paint them this pink. Then I'll put a little sort of white sheen on them to give them that sort of reflection look. And then I will cover them in the candy ink, which should make them a little darker. And then when everything's all dry, we'll get the UV resin out and we'll put a thin coat of UV resin on them to make them shiny. Can anyone guess where I got my UV resin from? I'll give you a hint. It's exactly where you'd expect it's from. D-Mac! Hello, mate. Welcome on in. And thank you for being subscribed for 21 months. Fucking hell.
Mark has been a sub for 21 months. Very naughty.
I love the way the TTS says your username. Makes me laugh every time. Is it Green Stuff World? It might be, Motel. I think they look quite pretty. Tids, I don't know if you're still there, but Pepper Squigmole was a good shout for beads. I know you suggested it for the robe, but one of these? It is indeed Topo. It's not very good for, like, large areas, for want of a better description. Because it's quite runny, and it takes a while to dry. But I used it for the slime on my Venkman raccoon. I made a little Slimer out of heat reactive beads and plastic dye. But for the slime on Venkman himself, I just sort of got a gob of the UV reactive resin and mixed some of my fluorescent green. Oh, bless you, Tids. Thank you so much. You take care. And I will see you again soon, I'm sure. Thank you for your modding this evening. Yeah, they look quite nice, I think. What was I saying? Yeah. So I've got some fluorescent paint, also from Green Stuff World. So I mixed some fluorescent green paint in with the UV resin. And then I sort of dripped it onto the raccoon. Sorry, I'm trying not to get pink all over the spines. I am painting. What hell? And for anyone else that wasn't here earlier, the Hedge Warlock from the Humblewood Humblefolk box set. Shockingly, I didn't elect to paint the raccoon in the box set first. I went for the hedgehog. Fancy to change of pace. I believe all of the Humblewood miniatures that I got through Kickstarter are now available on deckofmany.com. Just as standard. Or it might be on hitpointpress.com, which are technically the same website, but also not. But yeah, if you like cute little D&D animals, I highly recommend the Humblewood stuff. It's all wonderful. Cursed Thought, Animals of Farthingwood TTRPG. Oh my god, no, that'd be traumatizing. Though actually, I think it does exist. It's not official. I think somebody made it for oh god, what's it called? There's a TTRPG games jam every year. It's the RP equivalent of NaNoWriMo, essentially. And people will submit their like short form RPs. And each year a number of winners are picked, and I think they get like a mini publishing deal for their particular game, as it were. Something like that. There's definitely a Watership Down RP. I'm glad that the captions are coming in handy. Okay. I have gone over where I was supposed to be with the pink. Fixed it. Okay. So I'm not going to do any of the beads on the front yet. And I'm not going to do the beads on here. Because we've still got the robe to paint. Oh yeah, no, I totally got where you were coming from, Lafora. I know. I used to love Animals of Farthingwood when I was a kid. Not in a yes kind of way, but it was a really compelling story. And the animation was pretty good for, like, 90s TV. I think it was 90s. Don't think the Farthingwood TV show was an 80s thing. It might have been. Okay. I think we're good there. So I now need... Oh, actually, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use some white alchemy. This is a semi-pearlescent white paint. It is by Scale Colour. I do not recommend Scale Colour because they've had one too many vaguely fashy incidents, shall we say. But they came out after I'd already bought these paints, and I'm not the kind of person that can afford to throw paint away, so I'm going to use it. There are plenty of other places that do similar styles of paint. So if you don't want to give them money because of what they've done in the past, the recent past, then I urge you to look for other companies that do similar things. But for today, because it's what I've got, I'm going to use this. So it's a semi-pearlescent white paint. It should give a really nice sort of sheen to the beads, which is exactly what we want. Now, I think our little hedge pig here is supposed to be wearing, like, berries. Did you see the Lupin Zero announcement? No, I did not, Rocket. I didn't get internet connection until late last week. So I've basically spent most of October being unable to really pay much attention to what's going on in the wider world because I've been using my phone, and that's it. There we go. There's a little blockage in the tube. Teen Lupin Part 1 music. Really? Ooh, interesting. I'll have to take a look. Done some ideologically icky stuff. Shame because their paint is rather good. Vallejo is a good alternative, though. Yeah, exactly. I personally have a love-hate relationship with Vallejo's paint. Some of it's better than others. Oh, I'm using the Psycho again. If any of my mods wanna do the ! Psycho command. I should really fix that so that you folks can do it for me. Actually, you know what? Give me a sec. Where are you? There you are.
Look at that subtle off-white.
Ah, shit! Cheers, D-Mac.
Thickness on it.
Where is it? I've got so many bloody commands. While I'm in here as well, I'll turn off that bloody October notification. That month has already passed. Here we go. Oh no, everyone should be able to do it. What the heck? That's really weird. I don't know why. I think it was Cypher tried to do it earlier and it wouldn't work. Huh. Let's get that October timer switched off anyway. While I'm in here. There we go. Sorted. I was in a boss fight and vibing to Carla. Yeah, no worries, mate. So the likelihood of you folks being able to see that this is shiny on screen is minimal. Because I'm using so little of it. But I'm actually going to water it down a bit as well, because what I want to do is try and make it a little bit more opaque. I'm not going to water all of it down. I'm going to water a little bit of it down next to the sort of main body of the paint, so I've got options. There we go. But some of them, you know, we want them to be a little bit less shiny as than others. Just want to be very careful about where we're putting the shine as well. Because what it's supposed to be is the light hitting them. So if you put it in the wrong place, like if you put some of them on the left and then some of them on the right, it's where's your light source, you know? What I tend to do, because I'm not very good at this shit, I just make it up as I go along, is you might notice when I'm painting light onto something, unless I'm doing OSL, which I've only done a couple of times, I'll always paint the light to the left. Now, I have an always go left policy anyway, as you folks already know, but it's because this is where my day bulb is. So the light hitting the miniature in real life is actually coming from the left, so I just go where the light hits the miniature. Could be considered cheating. But it works. The Vallejo Specialist alcohol metals are amazing, closest to real metal in look, barring stuff like Alclad. Awesome! I've got to admit, the alcohol-based chrome paint that I got from GSW, this stuff, this looks so good on basically anything. It really does chrome stuff up very nicely. Hello from the Highlands, it's frigging cold. It is, isn't it? I mean, I'm technically in the lowlands, I think. But it's been a bit chilly here today. Slow came into my office earlier and was like, it's cold in here. I was like, no, it's not. It's perfectly temperate. Oh, I've just realised the dog's gone to sleep on his bed. Hang on a second, folks. I'm going to try and move the camera without waking him up. I failed already. Thank you for the treat for Porthos, Model. Good boy. There we go. That wasn't too bad, were it? Oh, shit, one from Hans as well. Thank you very much, Hans. There you go, P. So, because the treat jar hasn't turned up yet, I've got these sort of long, thin treats, and I'm just breaking bits off for him. Ah, so a couple of things. First off, Bernie, the St. Bernard that Porthos was obsessed with, turned out to not be a girl. He was very definitely not a girl. My mistake. And he is fine about the fact that he is no longer seeing Bernie. He has actually made a new friend as well. So there used to be a Dalmatian puppy that lived at this house. And we live in Dog Central now, by the looks of things. Like, literally everybody has a dog. And they're all really, like, responsible, conscientious dog owners. Conscientious? Is that the right word here? God, my brain's melting. Well, anyway, they're good dog owners. They're sensible and they pay attention to what's going on around them, and, you know. Unlike the dog owners at our previous place. We've had no bad dog interactions so far. I'll go on then. And one evening, when I let Porthos out to go to the loo, he ran over to the fence because there was what I think was a Labradoodle with its nose at the fence, looking for its Dalmatian friend. Oh, I did say responsible as well, Torpor, but yes, they are. It's honestly quite refreshing. Ugh, oh no, I put the brush in my mouth after I put ink on it. Blech. Those were English dog owners. You're in a civilized part of the Isles now. I know, right? It's great. I'm going to water this ink down a bit because it is a little bit too bright for what I want to do. I'm going to water it down a lot because it's very heavily pigmented. There we go. That's better. So Porthos is up at this fence, nose to nose with this other dog. Like arse, Sol. It tastes like arse. And not in a fun way. So they're nose to nose, and Porthos's tail is going a mile a minute. He's super excited. And he's not getting angry or stressed or anything like that. He's just happy and sniffing this other dog. And he's not on a lead or anything like that because he's in his own garden. There we go. I think that was quite nice. Got a little too much here though. So let's just boop it with the brush and that takes the excess away. Yeah. We've not seen that doggo again since, unfortunately. But Porthos has been very, very chill when we've gone out. He's not been anxious or anything like that. He seems to be settling in really well. There we go. I think that looks quite nice. Okay, so for the white robe, we're actually going to start with a grey. So I've got not the alchemy. We're going to put the alchemy over there so I don't accidentally pick it up later. We want... Is it this one? Yeah. So we're going to use Spaceship Exterior as our base. Spaceship Exterior is a very, very, very pale grey. Like, it may just look white to you folks watching. Because it's so imperceptibly different from just standard white. It's also plugged up because I use it so often. So... when any of my dropper bottles are plugged up, I've just got a couple of bits of wire. Same stuff I use for pinning. And I just pop it in the nozzle. And then I usually just give them a rinse in my my water pot as well. So that I don't end up with paint caked all over them. You can do the same thing by straightening out a thin paper clip. But having one of those handy just to unplug your dropper bottles is always useful. So we'll put that there. See, I like the army painter stuff because it's quite thick. I don't like Vallejo's white because, yeah. Watch this. I don't know if you'll be able to see actually, but we'll try. So, if I... That's basically water. It's white water. So runny. I actually prefer the Citadel white in this case, which needs a shake. So, there you go. Have some dropper bottle ASMR. So all my dropper bottles also have dropper bottle friendly ball bearings in. 2 ball bearings normally. Which is the rattling sound you could hear. If you're going to put your paint in dropper bottles, it's recommended that if you get ball bearings to put in your dropper bottles, when you get your ball bearings, drop them into a little, like a cup of salty water, leave them overnight and see if they rust. If they rust, don't put them in your paint. If they don't rust, pop them in your paint, they're good to go. MIG, I believe, is the brand that's normally recommended, but some people will list their ball bearings as MIG when they're not. You can also buy ball bearings from Army Painter, and if they're Army Painter ones, then they're designed for putting in your paint, so they're safe to use as well. But if you're getting off-brand ones, do the saltwater test just to make sure they're actually paint safe. Vallejo White comes in 2 variants, water thin, more like an ink, or grainy, and desperate to separate. Yeah, exactly, Modhail. And that's supposed to be the thick one, it's just not. Green Stuff World also says, glass beads guaranteed to not mess up your paint. Yeah, exactly. And there we go again, repping for Green Stuff World. Nikki, hello, sweetheart. Welcome on in. Please accept some positivities. Bun is dropping off due to bad day, but wishes all well. Oh, bless you, Nikki. Okie dokie.
Nikki Goth Bunner has been a sub for 16 months. Very naughty, please accept some positivities. Bun is dropping off due to bad day, but wishes all well.
Well, thank you so much for popping in and saying hello, Nikki. And for being subscribed for 16 months. I'm sorry to hear you've had a bad day, and I really do hope that your week improves from here and that you're able to get some rest this evening and just relax and do a bit of self-care. Okie dokie, Hans, you take care. Thank you for being here tonight. It's been lovely to have you. Hope you have a fantastic evening of driving tanks. Say hello to Grox for me. Blow up an enemy in my honour. So, we're starting with the spaceship exterior, which I have watered down a tiny little bit because it tends to go on a bit clumpy otherwise. I found that white paints generally will go on a little clumpy. That's going on quite nice at that consistency. I should really Liquitex my army painter paints so that I don't have to do that. I always forget. You know what? I'm just going to paint over some of these smaller spines for now. And I'll catch them back in later. So you should be able to see now that it's actually on the miniature that it's not quite white. That it's an off-white, as it were. I think what I'm going to do with the base on this little friend is I've got some like plants and stuff from Rival Crafts. So it's like actual dried flowers and that kind of thing. I think I'll put some of them on the base. I might even put some on the miniature itself. Like give them a little flower crown or something. And that could be quite fun. So how's everybody's October been? Seeing as I've not spoke to you all in a month. Well, not on stream anyway. Did you all have a good Halloween? Hello, Lynn. Thank you very much for the stretch. I'll deal with it now before I start painting again. Oh, another rib pop. Lovely. Oh, got high at a Halloween party. Awesome. You're stateside now, aren't you, Lynn? Sis had a party at her house. It was fun. Awesome. My moon was suitably hallowed. Lovely. That's why this month has been uneventful. Right? Now wrong with an uneventful month? Okay, I'm just gonna paint over all of them for now. It's easier. Upside. Ah, I'm UK side as of 3 hours ago and literally just got home. Holy shit, Lynn. Well, thank you for popping in and saying hello when you've literally just got home. Fucking hell. You must be knackered. Love the Midnight. Such a good band. Oh, I forgot this sleeve. I'm always a little bit worried when I stop chatting. Even on a painting stream, when you folks can just vibe to the music, I'm just worried that you're all going to be like, no, I'm bored now, I'm going to leave. I have to be chatty, but I'm so tired. But I hope you folks don't mind if we just have the jukebox and some painting for a little bit. I mean, I'll chat when people are talking in chat, but I don't have enough energy to keep doing the chatty streamer person thing. So sleepy. Got through TSA in record time. 3 minutes. Fucking hell, and how? That's witchcraft, that is. Hey, Slow. How you doing? A Slow has appeared.
You still alive?
I'm still streaming.
Okay.
Sorry, I left the door open so the dog could get water.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Slow. Just shut my office door. It's fine, the dog's asleep anyway. Very not busy. 3 minutes includes my complimentary pat down and explosives test because my body don't match my gender. Don't mind none. They're polite enough and they're just doing their job. It's like 30 seconds extra on my TSA experience. Yeah, that's fair. Like, the only time I've been stateside in recent-ish memory. I got the pat down as well for similar reasons to you, Lynn. But they were kind of rude to me. So I was wearing very, very baggy trousers because I'm not particularly comfortable in tight clothes for reasons that I'm sure some of you can understand. And they didn't like that I was wearing baggy trousers. And the TSA person that I got very short with me because frankly I couldn't make my trousers tight enough for them. Discovered the joy of bootcut jeggings. Yes. TSA folks are generally nice. Border agents, however, have a completely different vibe. Much more likely to catch a bad one with the latter. Yeah, I can imagine. Friend gets pulled up by airport security every time. Basically, he looks a bit like Wib, but with longer hair and longer beard. Has a rather spaced out look most of the time, even though he doesn't do anything that would cause that. I think it's that skinny guy with the long hair thing that just screams this man is a drug smuggler. Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, Soup. A little bit of profiling going on, you think? Yeah, that's what bothers me, Lynn, I think. Like, I'm very much the opposite of that. I'm a innocent until proven guilty kind of person, you know? And people that just automatically assume that you're hostile or that you're the enemy, they exhaust me. Oh, I tell you what, this is something that happened whilst I was not streaming. I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once for the first time ever. And then I watched it again with my mum. it's it's a bit good. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend it. Um it's got a fucking fantastic cast. It's really well written. It's really well acted. And it's got a beautiful story. And it's a story that's so bloody silly as well. Like, it shouldn't, in theory, it shouldn't evoke the feelings in you that it does. But it's just so precisely put together, so carefully and thoughtfully filmed, that despite being horrendously silly, it still makes you feel things. And that, dear viewers, is what we call good filmmaking. I always set off the beeping machines. Too metal, I assume. Yeah, you are far too metal, Wheezy. That song, Metal, la la la, is just about you, isn't it, Wheezy?
Get nice and moist for me, won't you?
Oh, thank you, Mod Hail, for the hydrate. It's getting a bit warm in here now. Slow shut the door. It's probably just temperate for him. He's so weird. It's so nice to be in a house where the central heating works. Like, for all the problems we've had so far, I do think the good outweighs the bad here. We're both feeling healthier. The dog's doing better. We've got cheaper energy bills, you know. Things are good. Things are good. Okay, I think we're getting there with the spaceship exterior finally. This bit's always the most tedious bit, especially because you have to thin it out so much. It takes a little while to get good coverage. And when you're painting something white, you want good coverage. Oh, I can't remember who it was that told me this. But a little tip for when you're painting fabric is to make your brush strokes go in the direction of the flow of the fabric. It may seem obvious to some folks, but if you're new to painting, it might not be. So it bears saying. But that way, if you've got visible brush strokes at any point, they're at least in line with what's happening on the miniature. That makes sense. Oh, we've got a posture check and a stretch as well. One time we were travelling back from Amsterdam and we got pulled up. And I started laughing, and the security guy said to him, "Do you know that man?" And my friend said, "Oh, yes, he's my accomplice." Fucking hell. Don't you just love it when your mates just get you in more trouble? People have no sense of humour, but the guy with the rubber glove was surprisingly gentle. Thank you, Mod Hell, for the posture check and the stretch. I'll do them now. Oh. And yes, it's a definite improvement. There are issues, but it's an improvement, and we'll get there with the rest of it eventually. Oh yeah, time for my post-month away Windows 10 mega update. Surprised it's not forcing you to update to Windows 11. I went away for a month, and my work laptop, when I came back, all of my passwords had expired, and it was a massive OS update. 12.5 gig I had to download yesterday to update my bloody laptop. That's failing. Every time I update my computer, all my sound settings get fucked. It's ever so annoying. There we go. That's the robe base coated. And I think we're good. Hang on. Just make sure that's all caught in. Just inspecting it to make sure I've not missed any bits. Looks alright to me. Okay, so we're not going to need any more spaceship exterior. Kickstarter in January. It's not a comic, but for now I need to hecking collapse. Oh, bless you, Lynn. You go get some rest. And yes, very exciting about the Kickstarter. If I can afford to, I will pledge. We'll see how things go. You take care, okay? Thank you so much for popping in, especially seeing as you'd literally just got back from the States. It's a card game. Oh, wicked. That's very exciting. You could get some rest, okay, sweetheart? Thank you again for being here for a bit. Okay, so I've gone back to using my detail brush, and I've got a little bit of the
for me, won't you?
dryad bark on it. Fills the weight. And I'm just using it to catch in the bits under the sleeves and around the edges of the robe. And then to catch in the spines that I've accidentally painted over. Actually, you know what? I think that bit is supposed to be part of this because the robe and the spines kind of meld together at this point, so it's hard to tell. I think it should be like that. Yeah, that was better. Hello, ma'am. How you doing? Thank you for the... Oh, punching the camera. Thank you for the hydrate. The posture check. And the treat for Porthos, which I will throw onto his bed. It's over there, mate. Go on. On your bed. If he used his nose, he'd find it. There you go. Good lad. How you doing, man? So, I'm not the only one that's just moved house. Mum's not long since moved house as well. It's a Hob family migration. She's not moved to Scotland, though. I've missed a bit on the side of the sleeve here. Of course, I only spot it when I start painting something else. Oh. That didn't work. Just got it all over their hand. A bit like me. I'm always covered in paint. 1 week yesterday, yeah. There we go. Fixed it. Oh, Saul, have you heard Snail's House's latest single? It's good, if you've not. Oh, I'm back on the Psycho again. Oh, I've not seen the music video yet. I need to get on that.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring.
Thank you, Saul.
The tasteful thickness of it.
So I'm just going back in with the Psycho. Get all the spines that are poking through the robe before I start putting highlights on it and shading. So as much as I said this was the base coat, what I'm actually going to do is use it as the mid-tone. There we go. And then we'll use a little bit of the Doom Ball just to give them some depth again. There we go. And now everyone, we can get on to the fun bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this Citadel White Scar, which is a layer paint, so it's naturally a bit thinner than like a base paint would be anyway. And it's also got a bit of Liquitex in it, so it's even thinner. And using the detail brush, I'm just gonna pick out the highlight areas. It won't make much of a difference to begin with because there's only a little bit of a difference in the actual colours. But it should make just enough of a difference. And then what we'll do is any areas where it needs a little bit of extra shadow, we'll mix a little bit of black in with the spaceship exterior. And those bits will get proper sort of shade. Now, like I said earlier, there's lots of ways to do these kind of things. This is just the way I like to do it. This is the way that it's comfortable for me. Oh, the paint's pulled a bit funny there. That's going to bug me. I'll wait until it's dried and then I'll give it another layer in that area to try and even it out a bit. If I keep trying to work it now, it's just going to spread the paint that's already there around at the same time, which isn't going to help matters. So this bit here is going to be a lot of white scar. It's very flat. Just bringing the day lamp down a little bit, because now we've got this huge body of white on here. It's reflecting a lot more, so I don't think you folks can see quite as clearly as you could before. It's better. So that's already done quite a good job in a lot of places. It's just here where it's gone a bit funky. There we go. Better. Just a little bit of patience needed there. That's not so bad. What I am going to do though is I'm going to get a little bit of water on my brush. Yeah. That'll do. And then just to tidy that up a little bit. Okay, so we've got some stuff here where we need a little bit darker than the grey. Not too much. That should do. So I've just mixed a little bit of the black that I've got with a little bit of the spaceship exterior. And then we'll put that here. Put a little more black in there. Because we want to make sure that the shadow right in the sort of crease of the fabric is nice and visible. Oh, too much on my brush. We'll get some of the spaceship exterior. And I'm just going to put it straight on the wet dark paint to cover up that little cock up. And what I've done is I've put a little bit more of the slightly less dark on there. Spread it around with a bit of water. And I'm doing the same with the next one up, but I've watered that down as well. Now I'm going to leave that to dry. And I'm going to really water down the lightest of the greys that I made myself. I'm going to put some here, because this needs some shading. Better. And then we'll put some here. Again, this is really heavily watered down. And if it goes anywhere where I don't want it, I'll just go back in with the brush a little bit clean. I'll pop the brush in my mouth just to clean off any excess paint. And I go back in. A lot of the painting that I do, especially when it comes to stuff like this, it's kind of, rather than being a specific technique that I'm using, I go by what feels right. Not everybody likes to work like that, but that's what works for me. So I look at it, I go, that doesn't look quite right. Maybe if we try this. It doesn't always work out the way I want. Oh, too much paint on my brush there. Okay. I think we're getting there now. Yeah, I think we're good now. That poor paper. This one's going to have to go in bin before it's had its multi-use, I think. That's my fault. Let's get the rest of these beads painted. And I think once I've finished painting these beads, we'll call it there. Because I'm feeling very tired and I'm quite hungry. And I'm sure there's lots of you that feel the same. Oh, actually, we want the psycho again. Oh, bit too much.
nice and moist for me, won't you?
Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Torpor. And the posture check. Oh, definitely needed when I'm painting. Thank you very much. And a stretch as well. Oh, here we go. Oh. Thank you very much, Torpor, for making sure I take good care of my body. I think they look quite nice. Just adding in a couple of highlights that I missed. Better. There we go. I think that's pretty good progress for my first painting stream in a good few months. Little hedge pig is looking quite nice, I think. Got a little bit here. Need to catch in. I love the challenge of painting things white, but I hate that it shows every little mistake you make. I mean, we take the Bob Ross approach here. We don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents. But you know what I mean. There we go. I'm quite pleased with that. Still got lots to do, but I think this is a very good start. So I'm gonna figure out where I put the lid for my wet palette. Oh, I'll put it over there. Okay. I am gonna finish up and go and get myself something to eat. I think. Ooh. How long have I been live for? Let's have a look. 3 hours, that's not bad for a first stream back, is it? And I only used my psycho 4 times. Proud of myself. Thank you very much, Torpor. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening as well. Food hype indeed, Wheezy. Right. Let's see who we've got live. We can raid. Is this working again now, or am I going to have to update it? Let's find out. I'm going to have to update it again. Okay. Does not want to work. Ooh. I know who we're gonna raid. Oh, I don't know. I'll have a look. Hello, Halo. I'm afraid you've caught us just as we're about to finish up. How are you doing, Halo? You're most welcome. Where is it? Here we go. Let's see if anyone entered the giveaway. Nobody entered the giveaway. If anybody wants to enter the giveaway for a copy of Endless Space 2, now is your last chance. Otherwise it'll roll over to the next stream. Because I'll probably forget to change it. It's good to be back, Halo. Just so that you actually get to see some content rather than just a blurry screen, this is what we were painting tonight. It's a little Hedgehog Hedgewitch. And it's looking pretty neat. I'm quite proud of it so far. Which isn't something I say very often about my own stuff. Okay. I need to... Oh, can I do it from here, actually? I've got like a little setup on my Stream Deck that allows me to just automatically raid people that are live, and it's not working properly. Ah, there we go. It's working now. It's decided to behave. Where are you? Oh, bugger. Have you gone offline just as I was about to raid you? I think you have, haven't you? No? Ah, there you are. We're gonna raid Rustbot. Rust is a lovely member of this community, and currently playing XCOM UFO Defense, so that should be fun. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's come along today. It's been a grand return. It really has. I want to thank all the lovely folks that followed whilst I was offline, and also that have followed today. Also, thank you to the lovely folks that have raided, resubscribed, cheered. All of you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. And thank you for welcoming me back with so much energy and positivity. It has been a really, really nice return to streaming. So thank you so, so much. I will be back on Friday with an as of yet undecided community night thing. We'll figure it out. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, wash your fucking hands, and have a great rest of your week, everybody. Bye-bye.